What is going on, guys? Welcome back to another post game here on Rangers Central, game 75 of the regular season, where the Rangers fall 5-2 to the Pittsburgh Penguins. This one's not even going to really take long to recap and talk about. This game was just not good at all. Terrible effort in terms of the entire team, pretty much. Mainly the Miller and Trouba pair is my biggest gripe of this game. And I'm starting to now question the narrative of, you know what? Maybe I was wrong, and maybe I've been overcritical about this team, and truly just the Miller Trouba pair holds them back. And I cannot for the life of me still understand why they decided to break up Miller and Schneider when they probably had like one or two bad games together at most with that skewed their analytics. But a lot of those games were when the team played poor defensively to begin with, like the Philadelphia game, yet they broke them up and decided to throw Jacob Trouba right back into the mix with them. I don't want to hear about the fact that they've been together. The fact of the matter is they suck together, and it's dragging this team down. Jacob Trouba, I'm sorry, I'm so tired of this crap from him because he's a turnover machine. There's no if, ands, buts about it. I do not care that he throws hits. I do not care that he blocks shots every now and then. I would care if he did those things on top of played the game the right way in terms of the fact that he didn't turn the puck over. And the fact of the matter is, too, like, I can't justify the whole injury thing because this was a problem before he was hurt, too. Like, I cannot rationalize the fact that this is still, oh, well, he's first coming back from an injury. No, you don't make mistakes like that because you're coming back from an injury. That's all up here. If he physically looked slower than he already is, I'd get behind that being an injury thing or, things like that. But mental mistakes like turning the puck over is not an injury thing. He needs to be way smarter than that. He needs to be way better than that. And it hurt the team tonight. There's no way around it. The Rangers lost this game from the opening draw, and there was no coming back. The first period, they had no life at all in terms of the offense. There is pretty much nothing generated. I mean, what is there to talk about with this first period other than that terrible turnover he had, and then Brian Russ scored on a rebound from Crosby's shot, and then he turned the puck over a second time on the second goal, and they were just getting absolutely railed by that Crosby line. And for whatever reason, Laviolette kept the matchup there. I like a lot of what Laviolette has done this year, and I'm not going to discredit what he has done, but I cannot understand at all why those two are together still. Cannot understand why they got the matchup as much as they did against that Crosby line. It couldn't happen. It just could not happen. Before I jump further into everything, though, leave a like if you haven't forgot to do the intro. Subscribe if you guys are new, especially if you're Ranger fans, and turn on your notifications so you know when I upload or go live. Sorry, I forgot to do the intro. I just went on a tangent there right off the rip because I'm just annoyed with this because what is there to say? Like the Rangers, every single time those two were out there, it was a problem. They had a terrible period in terms of, I mean, they took penalties too a lot this game. The refs were not great this game. Don't get me wrong. Like Wenberg at one point got boarded. They didn't call anything. The Kakko goal was clearly a goal, didn't allow it. You can maybe argue the whole thing where Kreider ended up bumping into Nedeljkovic, but the fact of the matter is you got to get more than 4 high danger chances against the Pittsburgh Penguins nonetheless. They've put up a fat goose egg in the second period with that, and their only high danger chances in general were on the power play pretty much. Like, you got to be way better than that. They were sloppy with the puck all night long to begin with. The second period might have been worse, to be honest with you, because forget the fact that they weren't even forget the fact that they played poor defensively in the first period. They didn't do anything offensively in the second period in terms of the fact that they did even get the puck in the offensive zone every now and then. They just didn't do anything with it. And then the third period, they sparked a little rally late. It was cute. Kakko got the goal. They originally ruled it no goal, but they reviewed it. The glove was in the net with the puck, 3-1 there. And then the first line had a good shift there towards the end of the game. Rosovic buries a shot that goes off of the boards or a pass from Mika, whatever it was. I don't even remember what it was intended to be. Regardless, that made it 3-2. And then Russ got the empty netter, and then Panarin had a bad shot. Crosby got the empty netter, and that made it 5-2. I don't know what there is to say other than the fact that it's just sad. It's just sad how much this team got hurt by a poor performance from Jacob Trouba, but I'm not going to entirely pin it on him at the same time because of the fact that this team did not play well defensively pretty much the entire game. outside the third period. But the problem is that it's not like they played good defensively. On paper, they did, but it was mostly the fact that Pittsburgh was just playing shutdown hockey. And the fact that you let that team play shutdown hockey against you, it's just sad. And like, I don't understand how that happens. Jacob Trouba's quote in the post game here. So the first goal was not on anybody but me, and I've got to be better. Added that he's doing things that are holding the team back since I've came back, but believes that they're easily fixable. I'd love that quote a lot more if I haven't seen the movie before, of him spewing garbage like that at us and actually proving it the next game. If he does, hey, I'll shut up. I gladly will not shit on Trouba, and I will gladly apologize. But I've seen the movie too many times with Jacob Trouba in particular, where I've loved his quotes and things he said. He's good at saying the right things. I'll give that to him, but he's got to execute on the ice next game for me to actually fall for that, because to me, it's nothing more than a load of crap right now because of the fact that I've seen it before. But I don't know what really there is to say other than the fact that the power play 2 has to be better next game. I mean, outside of the goal that they did have that got disallowed, they didn't even generate really much outside of that power play in particular. A lot of guys just looked off. Like, that second line looked invisible. The fourth line needs Matt Rempe back in the lineup. Johnny Brodzinski cannot be in the lineup anymore. Like, I don't know what he brings to the table here. And did you see what happened when Panarin went out there with Kakko and Wenberg? You notice how there was a goal? Brodzinski's doing nothing out there for this team. They got to get Rempe back in, or they got to move Cooley up and then get Rempe back on the fourth line, because the fourth line looks lifeless without Matt Rempe on it. They need that spark from him. They need that physicality in general in the lineup from him. And the first line gave you a couple good shifts, not a lot of quality shots, gave you a couple good shifts. They were probably the best line of the game. And the defensemen, I mean, you didn't really get terrible performances out of Fox, Jones, Lindgren, and Schneider, but you also didn't get great performances. Like, it just is what it is. So I don't know. I don't really know if I have much else to say other than they got to be better. You turn the page to the next game, and I'm just more annoyed because this was a chance to gain ground on Carolina and really put yourself in a spot to win the Metro. But hey, maybe these teams aren't going to be as easy as I thought. They got to play New Jersey. They got to play Detroit next. All I'm saying is that they got to be way better. And they didn't even allow a lot of quantity in terms of the chances against. It was more just the quality. Like, they allowed 20 shots on goal, but I'd say half of them were quality chances on net. Maybe even over half. At least from what I saw with my eyeballs, but maybe I'm wrong. In terms of what to even do at the defense, I don't even know what you do, because clearly they're not even going to mix up the pairs. But if they did, I still am curious to see Miller and Schneider get back together and then go Trouba Jones. I know people want the Fox and Miller pair. I'm not against the idea of it, but you can't do it because of the fact that I don't think Lindgren and Trouba would be good together, because we've seen it before together and it has not been good. And then you have the bottom pair as well, where, I mean, Jones and Schneider, they've actually been fine considering how they were earlier in the year as a pair, but I don't trust the skating. You'd have to change things entirely. Like, maybe go with Lindgren, Schneider. I don't even love that still. And then Jones, Trouba, Miller, Fox. But I don't know. You don't have a lot of flexibility. That's the issue here. But the point stands that you turn the page and you got to be better in the next one, because this was just a piss poor effort from the Rangers. Piss poor in terms of their offense and in terms of their defense. There was really nothing to take away from this game. Nothing really to say from this game other than they got beaten bad. So before I jump to the comments, I don't know why I'm blanking so much here. I'm so tired today for some reason, but before I jump to the comments, leave a like if you haven't already, subscribe if you haven't, turn on your notifications, and let's see what you guys have to say in the chat. I'm sure nobody's happy today, and rightfully so. Yeah, Trouba's not playing good, Dimitri. And Yeah, Truba did not play good. James screened the goalie. This team is to go in the playoffs with. If this team is to go in the playoffs with, I think you mean what they have right now, they'll be out in the second round, and that's if the Rangers don't play Tampa. Listen, Dimitri, if Jacob Trouba and Keandre Miller are going to continue to be this bad, yeah, it could single-handedly cause this team winning a Stanley Cup. And it's not an exaggeration. Laviolette on Trouba. Listen, somebody comes back from injuries. It takes a minute. It happened to just about every player. I have no doubt in my mind that when it comes to the playoffs, we need a Warriors on the ice, and he'll be there in full force. Just no. Just no. Sorry. No. We've seen it before. And if somebody else made that mistake, especially if it was like Jones or Schneider, they wouldn't see the ice. So I don't understand it. Whatever. Sloppy. And it all starts with 8, the captain. You want to be an elite team, you need to play every game like that, even if you lose, always playing down to opponents. You're right, Hockey Dad. And this is why when I say that this team tanking for second place because people want them to play the Flyers, that's not a good idea, because this team plays down to opponents all the damn time, like you mentioned, and like I can't justify it, and I don't even know. For all we know, they are in a battle with freaking Washington. Yeah, I mean, it's a mix of both. Like, that line did play good for Pittsburgh, but yeah, a lot of it was Miller and Trouba just being terrible. Yeah, I don't understand the whole chemistry thing with those two. Like, what chemistry is there? Just because they've been playing together for a while does not mean they have chemistry. Like, I don't understand that either. Yeah, they've been playing terrible defense since Trouba came back. I agree. And they got to blame it. And yeah, Laviolette gets a lot of blame this game. And I like what Laviolette has done a lot this year. You guys know it. I was advocating for him, and people are like, oh, well, how could you say that? How could you say you know more than an NHL coach? Yeah, because not every NHL coach is perfect. And listen, there are times that sometimes the public eye, the fans, actually know something more than coaches or athletes. I'm not saying that's more times than not, but there are times where us fans are right. There are times that it's the truth. And I just don't see how anybody even argued it because of the fact that this team has won 50 games. Okay, well, look at the stretch without Trouba. They played some of their best defense, and Trouba goes out of the lineup. All of a sudden, we're talking about this team playing better defense. Sorry, it's just not a coincidence. It's just not to me. And I'm not saying that I'm rooting for him to get injured or anything, but like, he needs to be out of the lineup. I'm sorry. If he's not going to play good, he's got to be out of the lineup. He was questioned about pairing those two by the media for a reason. Exactly. This isn't just a fan thing, media thing too. Gave up 15 goals to 3 teams they should have beat easily: Philly, Arizona, and Pittsburgh. Their defense sucks. I mean, listen, Wenberg got boarded, but yeah, I'm not liking Wenberg's game. I haven't liked either of the acquisitions games. I know Rosovic scored tonight, but to me, outside of that, not sustainable, especially in the playoffs when things tighten up. To only be able to win games scoring 5+ goals to make up for guys like Trouba playing irresponsibly and forfeiting 2 to 3 bad goals. You're not wrong. It's not sustainable, and that's where my biggest gripe has been with this team. Why isn't Jones on power play too? I don't know. He needs to be, in my opinion, but yeah, the main issue was clear. Laviolette is 3 times the loser tonight. Put the wrong pairing on defense. Too many men bench Meyer. That's another thing I forgot. They took too many men in the crunch time. You can't take a too many men penalty there. You just can't. And yeah, I don't know why Igor was pulled before they had control in the offensive zone. That's another point I forgot to even bring up too. You're 1,000% right. That's a really good comment, Heavy. Because I forgot to even mention some of those things that I was going to. Yeah, when teams struggle, when teams shut down that line, they struggle. You're not wrong. I question the same thing, or I question the same thing in terms of the record comment you made. Yeah, well, Laviolette does need to break them up, but it's not going to happen. Thomas, this is where I say, and I brought this up on Twitter, and Matt has brought this up multiple times. I'm sure he's in the chat still right now. Matt has brought this up that this has to be something from upstairs at this point, because this is now 3 coaches, and you're telling me not one coach has seen any of this being an issue? And Laviolette basically said he did play a poor game, but made excuses for him. So clearly he sees something, but I think this is an upstairs thing. I really do, because why is it that 3 coaches have not seen this as an issue? And yeah, they phoned this game in big time. This was a mailed-in effort. Not that there really even was an effort, to be honest with you. Yeah, the 4th line wasn't good. It just wasn't. They gotta change. They gotta change things. Yeah, 18 seconds in. Panarin looks tired. Let's start sitting players out. I want them to win the division, and I'm sure they want to, but if they won a game like this, if they even gave half an effort, they would have won this game. Pittsburgh's not good right now. Yeah, the eye tests and analytics are backing up that they're not good together. Scratch number 8, Torts did it. Unfortunately, Torts isn't here. And unfortunately, I think that there's something going on upstairs that's making this pair stay together. The whole team just looked off. Passes were off. Puck sliding off player sticks. Miscommunication all around. This could be a bad game, but this is now 2 games in a row where the team looked off. You're right, NYR for life, and that's where I'm worried. And I know that they scored 8 against the Coyotes, but it's also the Coyotes. And I love that they did generate offense against them. But again, it's the Coyotes. They got to find a way to play better defense than this, too. Like, the past 2 games, it's more so the defense that is just gross. And how many times did they force the stretch pass too today? That was also annoying me. And yeah, true as words mean nothing. Actions speak louder than words. You're not wrong. Yeah, they're teams that are hungry and want to play spoiler. You're not wrong, Nicole. How did I think the goaltending was? I didn't love or hate Igor's game. I mean, the breakaway was a high glove shot, which is unfortunate. But outside of that, I mean, your defenseman gives 2 pucks away there on the first 2. And then even the third one, you got Will Cooley giving the puck away, and then Jacob Trouba pinching up for whatever reason. It's like, I don't understand why he's doing that. I know it was high glove, and Igor needs to be a lot better with that, but I don't know. Yeah, at least the Rangers scored, unlike our favorite baseball team, which that's going to be a whole different animal tonight when I have to talk about that game. And yeah, that's another thing. Like, Laviolette's quote, too, is like throwing other guys under the bus there, which is like, why are you doing that? Especially because, like you said, I don't. I think Lindgren's had a down year for sure, but he hasn't been the worst actually since he's been back, honestly. And yeah, not just us fans. Yeah, I was told the same thing, Matt. Isn't it crazy? Isn't it crazy how sometimes, even though everybody calls us negative and calls us doom and gloom, even though sometimes we're right, but they don't want to give credit when you're right. They only want to get on you when you're wrong. And I don't have a perfect batting record. I'm not going to claim that, but I'm just saying they don't want to give you credit when you're right. Yeah, Crosby, 19 seasons in a row, averaging at least a point. Of course, he secured that against the Rangers. How poetic. Dude just owns us. Easter hangover in full effect. Yeah, Rosovic and Wenberg. They look like they had jumped when they were first here and they were excited to be Rangers, but you haven't seen it since. And yeah, this is it, Diane. Coaching decisions should never be made by contracts. And this is why I don't understand what is going on here anymore. Because why is it that three coaches in, nobody sees the issue here, yet guys, because of certain contract status, are continuing to play in the lineup? Barclay Goodrow, asked more times than not, still remains in the lineup. Trouba, asked more times than not, remains in the lineup. Something is going on there. And that's all speculation. I'm not going to claim I know anything, but I think that something is going on with that because it's like, how is it that three coaches don't see this? And yeah, they do need to be held accountable. Yeah, accountability apparently holds them back. No board battle wins. Yep. It's a good question. It's a good question. And I don't have the answer to it. I don't. But it's something I've questioned a lot. And I get a lot of flack for it. I had an actual good feeling that they waited until they got full pressure. That Laffy coming out as the extra attacker would make a difference. Yeah, I mean, if they actually waited, maybe. But I don't even know. Absolute garbage. Pathetic game. The first period was awful. We move on to the Red Wings. Yep. And you're right, Logan. They're not going to. They just simply aren't. And that's a point that I've been making, and nobody wants to hear it, but it's the truth. Like, you have to be better than this. You simply have to. Because at points, it bites you in the ass. And I would say 4 to that. Not even 3. I would say 4. Shrew's jury's guy, no way they sit the captain. Exactly, Josh. Rangers made too many east-west passes, and Panarin looked like last year with some bad backhanded passes. Yep. Constant thing. Oh, God, Thomas. If they play like this in the playoffs, oh gosh, it's not going to go well. Team has 0 killer instincts. Poor coaching from Lavy. The captain playing this bad has the potential to implode this whole team. Very concerned. That's what I've been saying, Rob. I know. And if I can't look past it. I just can't look past it at all. I'm sorry. Trouba was responsible for the first 3 goals. You're right, Joe. You're not wrong at all. They've given up 17 goals in the last 4 games. Doesn't instill confidence in me for the playoffs. Your goals against has to be under 2 in the playoffs. Like, I couldn't agree more with everything you guys are saying tonight. I really couldn't agree more. Listen, again, my whole thing has been, go ahead and prove me wrong. I will be very happy to be proven wrong and admit if I'm wrong, but I have my worries, and I think it's rightfully so. And I don't think you should, and don't let people change your opinion. If you feel that you're worried, feel that way, because that's how you should feel, in my opinion, at least. I'm not going to tell anyone how they should feel, but in my opinion, there is definitely cause for concerns. Yeah, Miller looked frustrated too. You're not wrong. Trouba brought Miller's game back down to unreliable very quickly. You're right, Nicole. Yeah, I'm worried about this too, honestly, with the rebound control from Igor. That's an underrated thing. His rebound control has not been great. I'm very worried with this coaching staff come playoff time, especially after today. I don't know if I'm there yet with questioning the coaching staff, but there's a lot of other things. But I'm not going to tell you to feel wrong about that, because a game like tonight is a problem. I got no idea, Logan. I got a lot of hate for saying I didn't want him to be the captain. That's not true. The Rangers in 2015 made it to the conference finals. I don't know if there's been any other teams that have made it further, but the Rangers in 2015 made it to the conference finals. Yeah, like, that's the other thing, Nicole. Like, it doesn't feel like there's emotion in these games. Goaltending sucked. Lately, defense sucks. Trouba should have been stripped from the seat. Kreider getting saved off. Stupid. I don't know what you're saying there. Wait, getting saved off is stupid. Absolutely stupid. Oh, you're saying the goal that got waved off. Gotcha. Let's hang, push him in. I agree that the goal shouldn't have been called back, but they played so poor today that I can't even blame the officiating, to be honest with you. I really cannot. All good. It happens. I mean, Rempe's got to play next game. He really has to. And yeah, not wrong. The Rangers did overlook their opponent. But all right, I am going to wrap things up here. Keep it a little shorter today. I do apologize for that. I get to do Mets content now too. Oh boy, my favorite. All right, thank you guys so much for tuning in and watching. Leave a like if you haven't, subscribe if you haven't. If you are interested in Mets content, go to Mets Central. I upload there often, and that's going to be a fiery rant probably tonight. I'm very pissed off with them more than this team. So I don't know. Not good for me in sports world, though. I can tell you that right now. So anyway, that's going to be it for me, and I'll see you guys in the next one.